Hello and welcome everyone. In the last episode we were working on our spire, and in this episode we're going to be working on some automatic power production. Now the main way we can do this is by taking our tree farm, taking a lot of the wood that it's producing a lot of items, and the first thing we're going to do is take both of these actually and put them into a kind of storage system. That storage system will then be able to feed out excess items like logs and saplings and sticks to be used as fuel, and that we can take and use for power. For making up our storage system, we are going to use a mod called functional storage. Now, this is much like storage drawers, if people are familiar with that mod, and we're going to make something called a linking card, a linking tool even, and that will allow us to connect regular drawers to a storage controller. Now, we're also going to need a configuration tool, or I don't know if we do actually need one or not, but we're going to make one so we have it. And then what we're going to do is take that, go upstairs, and I'm thinking we're going to make a little bit of a storage hub area here in the center of these two farms, so we have both products coming in from either side and going into a bunch of drawers so we can have easy access to all of our materials. So thinking about the layout of our system, we're going to change it so that it's coming out of the center on this side, and then we can come along and go to one block off center, because these are actually equally spaced along this central block here. Both go into a single belt, and then this belt will feed off on this block here, meant to portray what it's going to be like underground, because obviously this will be underground, and then the storage controller, and we'll have a, we just take this out for a second, we'll have a brass funnel on the side of that there, and that going in. And that will pick up all of the items going past and put them into the storage controller, which will put them into the oak drawers. And anything that can't be put into the storage controller will carry on going until whatever we want it to go into, or it will just be put into some lava for the moment. Depends on what we want to do. Now that we have all of our belts hooked up to our system, we can just come up here a second. And you can see I have placed down 18 drawers, technically speaking 19 drawers. Now, first thing we want to do is take the linking tool, and we can right click on the storage controller to connect it. And then if we right click in the air, we can swap the action from remove to add. And then, so we want add. There's also single and multiple. I don't know what that does, to be honest, but I think that's what it does actually, to be honest. If we change it to signal, yes, you only add a single one at a time, whereas we can add all of those, and I think that means that they should also all be connected. I don't know if that's all working correctly. It's a bit of an interesting and different system to what I'm used to, but what we can do is we can take the configuration tool, and there's a few different options. So you can shift right click in the air, and it says swap modes, hide show item renders, item upgrade renders, locking, the amounts. So what the one we want is locking, and we're going to lock that drawer there so that nothing goes into it. I think that means nothing can go into it. Or we can, if we then take all of that out, well, it will have redstone. So if any redstone accidentally ends up in the system, then I guess that's where it will go. But it means that none of the rest of our products, like the sticks, will go in there, and they should all go into our storage system. I have powered up our belts using a water wheel and using some cogs to speed it up so it's going nice and fast, and got a nice double gearbox situation so that all the belts are going in the right direction. And our brass funnel has picked up some items already, if we can get up out of this hole. And we can see that they're all going into their nice places. So we've got all of our crops on this side, we've got some berries, we've got some saplings, we've got some sticks, and we can then now set our farms going again, and they will start producing, and they'll all be put into here, and we won't run into any storage problems. Now that this is all sorted, we can just clean it up a little bit to give it the same characteristic look that we've been going for. Turn off our jetpack would probably make it easier. And you can actually right click on the side of these and upgrade the storage, and also add utility upgrades. We don't need to worry about any of that for the moment for what we're doing with these drawers currently. but maybe in a system in the future we'll have some things that will make use of those. So, one more. Oh, no, that was one too many. And I did it again. There we go. Then we can also take our chisel and bits, and take out some of stone and the like, and we can get grid snap cubes, and I think we're going to go for quarter blocks, and going to go for these ones first, quarter blocks, and we can place those down around the edge of our build, and that will give it a nice little accent. Might actually want to think about using, I think I'm going to use the cobbled deep slate all the way around to give it a nice accent. There we go, I think that looks quite nice, and then in essence that is that part of the system done. I've locked all of the drawers so that we can't end up accidentally taking all of the drawers out and it being filled with the wrong item. We actually already have 2,000 oak logs in there, and I didn't even turn that back on, it's just already what we had in backlogged. So obviously, as you can see, our other farm is whizzing around and building all these things up. So what we're going to do is obviously have to set up some kind of overflow system. So a lot of these vegetable things, these organic materials, and even the saplings can be put into a composter, and any of the excess turned into bone meal. And for the wood and sticks, we're going to use them as fuel. So bringing along all of the excess items, they will come along past where our storage system is there, as you can just see our storage controller, and they will come along here, and we will bring them up and out here. And then what we need to do is set up systems of filtering out the different items that we want. So we're going to use some filters and some brass chutes, smart chutes even. So for the first one, we're going to filter out at the very least logs. So we're going to set a filter. If we do it with both of them in our hand, it's going to set both of them. So set the filter for logs. And that way, yep, that's set. And it's to respect that data and ignore item data, but this is the allow list rather than deny list. Perfect. And then what we can do is take that and put that on the filter slot, and we can sleep so it's daytime. And continuing on, we can put that in that slot, and then when we chuck a piece of wood onto the line, it should pick that off. Whereas if we were to put an oak slab on the line, it should continue on, and I'm interested to see what will pick it up first. I guess the chute picks it up first in this situation. The brass funnel is there just to accept any items that don't go through the system. Just making sure that it gets picked up by the smart chute first. Otherwise, items that we actually want to go into here will go into that chest up there. So the other items that we want to go into the next one will be all of the ones that we can put into a composter. So this should be all of the items that we can turn into compost. So we can right click that into that filter slot up there, and that will collect all of those things in this chest. And then we can place down a hopper and some drawers. So we want the composter there. We want to turn on hover mode and put in a hopper there. You can turn off that and put in a storage drawer and put in a hopper underneath, just like that. That way we can get the bone ale from all of those, and that pretty much takes care of this. So we'll be able to turn on our farm again easily. With our tree farm running again, we have been receiving lots of logs. We've actually filled up a lot of what we had here. I've changed this around just a little bit, so our logs are going into here rather than in here. And that can go into a furnace. And then from the furnace, we will have that go into an oak drawer. And the way we're going to do that, like that, is we're going to use item pipes. So what we can do is dig down underneath here. And we can place down 2 pipes. And we can shift right click on this part of this pipe, and it should extract, and yes it is, it's putting the charcoal into there, taking it, I think that's going to be definitely fast enough. Yeah, it's going to be fast enough for what we need. And then what we can also do is then place things like that, get rid of that connection, and we're going to change that back to an input. Shift right click on it and turn that into a withdrawal, and that way it should fill up with charcoal, and this thing should then produce us loads of charcoal, and we'll have an unlimited supply of charcoal here now. So we can now make a couple of items. We're going to make 2 machine cases from RF Tools base, and we're going to make the coal generator. This also runs off of charcoal, so the only 2 fuels that it does run off, but it produces a nice 60 RF per tick. And we can also make a charging station. This is from Immersive Engineering. Now we've got some treated wood planks from a village, and we're going to need to make coils, so we're going to need to make wire, so we need to make cutters, and I think we have to turn that into plate first, so we can go grab some copper plate. And taking those 8 copper plates and our cutters, we can make the 8 copper wire that we need. So we need 2 like that, there and there, and a stick in the middle, and we're going to get our low voltage copper wire, and we can make that into our copper coil. And if we have some glass, we do, then we should have everything. Oh no, we didn't make low voltage connector. There we go. And we should be able to have our charging station. Now we're also going to make a power cell, which is why we made the other machine frame, and then we can make 4 of these ones, and we should be able to make the high energy or the medium energy cell. But the medium energy cell is still 4 million RF. These can also be formed into multi-block structures. So let's say you didn't have the emeralds or the dimensional shards to make the medium tier, you could make a whole load of the low tier, and you can make a whole absolute load of the high tier when you get there, and just have like millions upon millions, if not a billion, energy storage. So what we can then do is take our coal generator. If we go over to the other side, we're going to set this up here, so we can put down our coal generator, take our pipes, and should place that down like that, and that is starting to go and starting to produce power. And with a wrench made as such, we can also place down our energy cell, set it so that this side is an input, and I think we're going to set the top as an output. Then we should be able to pick it up. It should save those settings, place it down again, and it's then containing all of the energy that we have, and we can set this to going again. Shift right click on that bit, and that will fill up with charcoal and fill up this with charging, I think. It's definitely charging, just not very quickly. Though we can always just take our time in a bottle with a fair amount of time installed now and increase that a lot. It can take energy from that, and we don't have to worry about manually charging up our things anymore, just sticking them in our charging station. So this is our automatic power system.